Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Longbox. I'm here with Hojo. How you doing, Hojo?
What's up, man? How you doing, pal?
I was just
Pretty
saying,
good.
you got skinny since the last time I saw you. Oh,
A little bit.
Not that you were ever fat, but everybody's skinnier than me. So how's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Ready for tomorrow. Just made my apple pie.
Oh, nice.
Good to go.
Yeah, I got to work tomorrow, so I had plans to go to my sister's house for Thanksgiving, but they gave me, somebody's got to maintain the generators, you know what I mean? And it's a nice, they knew I've been out of work for 3.5 months, so they gave it to me. So my wife is making my favorite chocolate pudding pie. I'm a simple man with simple taste. Chocolate pudding, put it in the crust, put whipped cream on top of it, and I'm happy. Yeah, so she felt bad for me, so she's making chocolate pudding pie for me because my sister would have made it. Do you have a big Thanksgiving?
Yeah, this year it's probably 16 people are going to be here.
When my parents are still alive, we were up to 56 people in our immediate family. I'm one of 7 kids, and then wives, and then their children and husbands, and grandparents. That was a lot of fun. My father actually built a big back room in the house so we could have Thanksgiving dinner. I miss that. And then parents die, and then my brothers and sisters get older, and now their kids are having kids.
Drift away.
I said the emperor has passed, and now the empire has broken into kingdoms.
Everybody's got their own little fiefdom.
Yeah, it's now me and my wife like sitting in front of the TV, watching a Hallmark movie, having Thanksgiving. Right. Do you like the classic Thanksgiving dinner?
Yeah. I'm simple. We do turkey. My mom makes these things called sausage balls. I don't know if they do them up there. It's all it is, like Bisquick sausage and cheese.
That sounds awesome. I've never had
it. Yeah. I
love sausage. So
yeah,
but I love Thanksgiving dinner. I look forward to it.
It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, I love the turkey. I love everything about it. And my mom would get so mad because she would spend like 2 days cooking, and then we would just eat in 15-20 minutes. Take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, it's like a wedding. You do all that prep work, and it's over like that.
Oh my God! Yeah.
My turkey's grinding right now.
Oh, guys at work, they were like, "No, we're having, my foreman's having crab legs, and the other guy's having chicken wing." I'm like, "Dude, you gotta have turkey." We have
America, baby, America.
I love it. Like Arby's by me has a Thanksgiving sandwich. I can't wait to go get it.
God, what was it? Panera used to have this. It was in the fall. It was on this cranberry bread, and it was turkey and this cranberry mayonnaise and apple slaw. Oh, it was so good.
Oh, that sounds good.
But that was before COVID, so they don't do that anymore.
That sounds so good. I was working at a job in Manhattan, and there was this frou-frou deli. And every day I would go there for lunch, and they called it the Thanksgiving sandwich. It was turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and gravy, all on this nice fresh bread, and you didn't want to work in the afternoon. You were just and it was it was Manhattan, so it was $15. So every day I'm spending $15. But oh man, I love it. And then every month they changed the menu at this place. I was happy because I was saving money, but I still think about that sandwich.
Yeah, I remember my mother getting up at before the sun came up, to start making the turkey and all that. But my turkey's done in 3-4 hours tops. I'm done.
I remember I was dating a girl in college, and we went to I went to college in Albuquerque, and she lived in Colorado, so we went to her house rather than New York's because literally for 2 years I would go to Denny's on Thanksgiving, so I went to her house, and they were making dinner, and I'm just and I always like to cook, and and I was cooking in restaurants to put myself through school. So they're making dinner, and then I'm like, "Do you need help? Do you need help?" I'm like, "No, you're a guest. And then they made the turkey. They took the turkey out. They were about to throw out all the trippings and stuff. I said, "What are you doing?"
I know. What are you doing?
And she's opening up a jar of gravy. I go, "What are you doing?" She goes, "What do you mean?" I go, "Give me that pan." I take the flour. I stop making. They thought I was a wizard. This is what gravy is.
I make my gravy. Yeah, I make the gravy too. After the turkey's done. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you guys doing, Colorado people?" No offense to anybody who Colorado. What state do you live in? You don't have to dox yourself. I'm just
Oh, I live in Virginia. I got a PO box. I don't care.
Okay. You live in
Yeah.
Virginia. I was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
know, the first colony and all that. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do it up, man. Like mac and cheese. You know, we're I guess white. You know, so all that stuff. Nothing weird. Nothing. No fruit in the stuffing. It's just stuffing.
I like this. I like my mom used. Yeah, she used to literally stuff the turkey. You know, she didn't. My mom didn't do anything by half measures.
Yeah, I put vegetables in the bird in the inside, and that use all the drippings from all that. And that's the gravy. I know, man. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna eat right after this. Do you ever have deep fried turkey?
I did when I was stationed in Georgia. Like I was in training for Georgia.
How'd you like it?
It was all right. It's good. Yeah, not bad.
My sister, leave it to my sister to find the one hillbilly out in Long Island. She married him. They're no longer together.
Right.
But he insisted on deep frying a turkey one year, and I got to say, I was cautious, but it was delicious.
Good,
it was
man.
awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I just want to address the chat, and then we'll I guess we're already talking. But we got Prater7 says, "What's up? Ernest is having sausage balls right now. I could make a joke. This is going to be clipped on other people's channels and streams. You know, when they EFAP me, and they're going to be making fun of Ernest's sausage balls. Sausage spheres is more alliteration. Zactan says sounds delicious. Zactan, where you leave me hanging? I need my blessings, Zactan. Zactan gives the blessings before talking dirty. Oh, here it comes. John Snowden, the leftover sandwich. Yes, my father, he had a. Of course, we're going to get EFAP now. He had it looked like a vibrator, but it was like a wand that would like puree the food. And my father would cut up all the turkey and like puree.
Oh, you mean an immersion blender?
Yeah. I couldn't think of the name of it. And he would make the best turkey salad. Oh my God. You know, I can't think of my father without thinking of that. Nobody made it the way he you know, I can't seem to figure out what he did.
So you like a ham guy?
I'm sorry?
Are you a ham guy for Thanksgiving?
You know, it's not for Thanksgiving, but yeah. I never liked ham until maybe, I don't know, just before COVID. All of a sudden I started craving ham, like a big Virginia. Like now, ooh. My wife and I will go out to a diner. My favorite is like a big ham steak with eggs over easy.
Yeah, man.
There's no lumps. Can't wait for the Gravy Wizard to debut. Yeah. Heroic Tales is going to cross over with the Mythicals. The Gravy Wizard will show up in issue 4 of both comics.
Okay.
Ernest is giving us the thumbs up. Thanks, Ernest. Got the start. Hard to beat a smoked turkey. Yeah. Guys were telling me they don't like turkey. They don't look, you know. I love turkey, man. I love the traditional Thanksgiving dinner to the point we were going to go to my sister's tomorrow. So when I told my wife, I messaged her that I'm going in. You know, it's easy money. You know, I can't say no. And I've been out of work for so long. So she ran to the store. As an aside, I spent all last week just doing nothing but fulfilling. I told my wife, I said, I want to fulfill my comic. I just want to get this done in a week. I challenged myself. So I came home from work and I just fulfilled. She would cook me dinner and put it right here in front of me. Like, you know what I mean? So I was just eating. Yeah. So if you guys get boxes with like grease stains on it, that was just my dinner. You know, that's how hard I work for you guys. The best Norman Rockwell thing. So anyway, you got a comic coming out.
Yeah, man. Another one.
Yeah. How you doing? You're up to issue. Your campaign is for issue 3, right?
This is issue 3, yeah.
Yeah. We'll bring this up since I have the claim to fame to be in the first backer for issue 2. I tried to be the first backer for issue 3, but somebody beat me because
Alex VRB.
Who beat me?
Alex VRB. He beats everybody. The ninja.
Yeah, Alex, did you get your comic? If you're watching, I remember sending it out. But the Mythicals, tell us about the Mythicals.
So if you're new, the Mythicals is a horror action mystery. So it puts a witchy woman, Nancy Moon, with level M. It's like a covert task force comprised of creatures from myth and legend. And so you'll get to see my interesting takes on fairy tales, like I said, myths and legends, monsters, all of that. Like it's so picture, I guess, if you're older, like picture like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and take all that stuff minus.
I can't believe you saying if you're older than you said
I know.
Buffy the Vampire.
I know, because I know, dude, I know. It's been over 30 years since that came
Oh
out.
my god!
I know, dude, I know. So if you take like
not everybody, I gotta
yeah.
go sit in the closet and cry.
So if you take like Buffy and or the Dresden Chronicles and you mix that with like Men in Black, that government aesthetic, and then a little X-Files conspiracy, this is what you get. So each issue is like a little floppy, and then we get a self-contained story. The first 2 issues is kind of like an origin. The third one is like, this is a day in the life, you know, like what it's like working at this organization. So
yeah, one of the things, a little cheeky over here, one of the things I did like is you did, like David Brink with Genuine Comics did the same thing. The characters being introduced to all this information, and we're being introduced as the characters being introduced.
Yeah,
I like that. It's Alex Verb is messaging me right now. I'll see what it says, but I like that because it's a nice organic way to tell a story, bring us up to speed without that Stan Lee. True believers, Nancy Moon is walking into the agency. You know what I mean? That artificial.
Yeah. I don't need all that. No, I mean, it's just she's just a girl. At least she thinks she is. And she's not great at everything. Obviously, she's still learning on how magic works. We get a little bit more of a curtain behind the curtain thing to how magic works in this world. You know, it's not just abracadabra.
Right. So your comic is like occult monsters and investigation, whereas like my comic is superheroes. You know, yeah. But fantastic things happen in both worlds. But
the belief is definitely suspended.
Yeah,
the disbelief is definitely suspended.
So you have one character that's a werewolf, a witch. You know, a lot of and you put are you putting like different spins on them? Like if I see that werewolf, would I be like, okay, that's the typical werewolf, or is it like your own consistent rules? Do you changing anything up?
No, it's pretty much run of the mill with him. Except he's not at this age. He's not bound by like the cycle of the moon. He can transform whenever he wants to or needs to.
Okay. Any other
like
classic like? Are you going for like a Universal Monsters approach? Or are you going for more of like a Hellboy approach?
I never really read Hellboy. Like I saw the movie maybe a couple years after it came out. That was after I started writing this and had to maybe change a few things.
Okay.
But
don't judge the wonderful comic by the mediocre movie.
Yeah. I keep hearing it's great, but I don't have time to get invested in something like that. I need to jump on board with newer stuff.
I read one comic in this week because I was fulfilling.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I usually read at least 5 a day, try to catch up. I'm just asking these questions even though I know the answers to them because I backed issue 1, I backed issue 2, I backed issue 3. I'm eagerly awaiting. I think you're one of the guys that's making a good, fun, floppy comic that
thank you.
And I think in a healthy comic book industry, you, Dave Brink, you'd be selling in comic book stores, right next to Hellboy and
shit. Well, that's the dream, the one to get out there and have a lot of people have that much faith in the product and the idea that people want to go out there and see it and spread the word.
I'm gonna play your trailer. I always ask, like, there's no nudity, there's no like copyright music or anything.
No, well, it is like Russia claims it. You know how Russia always does that. They'll copyright claim, and you always have to dispute it. And they're like,
oh no, God. It's funny that you said that. Every video gets claimed by some Indian company.
So I mean, if you want to play it,
I'll play it. It doesn't matter. I'm getting claimed by this Indian company whether you play that I play this or not. I have to dispute every freaking video, and I just get mad that they allow it,
Yep.
What am I doing? Okay, let's make this big. Let's make this big and play. yeah. What did I just do now? Hit the wrong button again. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, so you got a werewolf, you got a vampire, and then Nancy Moon it's not a spoiler to say like she's like a witch in training or learning.
Yeah, she's like what they would call a natural witch. Like it's different than what like Daniel. He's like the techno mage, like the gadget guy, but he knows magic too. But his magic, the way he controls magic, is a lot different than what she can. Like, say she can do it with a thought, and he has to say and do something. You know what I'm saying? He has to really concentrate. For her, it's just effortless.
So there's different types of magic.
Yeah, different types of magic users. And to the degree that she can do it, like maybe he could only make it. Say, for instance, he could make it rain. She can make it like thunderstorm and like a hurricane and like go crazy. Like she can amp it up eventually, but we'll get there.
So they have like different like portfolios of magic as the old second edition D&D used to. Which now I got to ask: Are you inspired by Dungeons & Dragons?
No, I've never played a day in my life.
Oh, you never played?
No. I got a friend of mine tried to get me into it, but I guess it caught me on a bad day, and I was like, I'm gonna go outside.
Probably made a smart choice.
Yeah.
This is what happens. You become a bearded old man in your own basement. Hey, Pops is here. How you doing, Pops?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah. So, this is basically like a superhero adjacent comic, if you ask me, because it's like an agency solving crimes. But instead of capes and laser vision, it's fangs, blood, the full moon, and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's got that veneer, that superhero veneer. We don't have costumes. Eventually, everybody's gonna get a cool little, like I kind of want to do, like how the Avengers had the leather jacket era.
Oh,
do something like that. Everybody get like a cool little jacket or something.
Jacket, big pockets.
Yeah.
pouches. That's
Well, have you read issue 2? There is a joke in there where Lucas is trying to look for the trank. He's like, "Oh my God, where is it? Which pouch is it in?" He's like, "If the kids saw this, they would really laugh at me."
Is there an overarching story? Like, are you leading somewhere?
Yeah, this whole thing. Like, after you read issue 3, you're gonna see that all three of these are connected. You don't necessarily have to read the previous couple issues to get caught up, because we're going to be in that moment where you're going to know it's going to be organic, where you're going to find those things out. But the people who've read it are going to be like, "Oh, damn!"
And then the other, you're the writer, like myself. I write my comic.
Yeah.
Is this the same team?
We had to change pencilers again because the guy from issue 2 left to do the Superman like tie-in comic for Todd McFarlane's figures that DC licensed him.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it's any shame saying that your pencil is going to work for Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, well, one of them. He's working for either DC or Todd. Either way, couldn't fit the schedule, so I went back to my short list on a guy who was already on it. He was familiar with the characters and he had already drawn them before and knew what we were going for. Knew what the book had read issue 1 already. I gave him issue 2, and he's like, "All right, let's do it."
Well, I like this. To me, this looks like classic comic book art.
Yeah, he's got that. He's kind of got like a John Byrne flair to him.
Yeah, it's this looks to me like early 90s, before what we know as the 90s, Marvel and DC.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Before they shattered the Nikon crystal.
Like I could picture like Chuck Dixon and Batman era. I really like it because that's the aesthetic that I'm going for in my comics. So of course this is just like speaking to me on all levels. I really dig. I am a big fan of your comic. I talk about it, whenever I can. Whenever people ask me about comics, I always direct them to this.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I really, really am a big fan. And now in we got some cheeky over here. Is it R-rated?
This is firmly in the PG-13.
Yeah. Again, I already know these answers, but
yeah. I mean, we're not going any hard. We're doing 80s, 90s PG-13. PG-13 now is like G-rated.
Because right now, Renzo, my artist, Renzo Rodriguez, there's like, I'm writing a comic about a husband and wife who love each other very much and have 7 kids. You know, so they wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a sexiness, but nothing overt. You know.
Right.
So I nothing that you wouldn't see on a regular ABC, NBC, CBS night. You know what I mean? I you know, again, I think like all ages is probably the best way to go for comics. But I dig your color. Who's your colorist?
Same guy, Diego Albuquerque. Yeah,
same guys, your artist or same colorist?
And it's the same band from issue 1 to issue 3. We're just changing lead guitarists.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
and let's look at your campaign. No, I can't even speak today. I apologize. $10? You charging $10?
I know, crazy, huh?
No, well, I'm doing the same thing because I again, you know, I'm not speaking for you. I'm only speaking for myself. But I just feel like it's a big ask to ask people to pay $25 plus shipping for a comic book. You know what I mean? So I did $10 too, and I think I did pretty good. You know,
it's that shipping, man.
It's
if you didn't have to, people wouldn't mind paying it. Like if I didn't have to charge people shipping, it would be if I
right.
It'd
If
be like $9.99.
$10, I got this comic. Yeah, it's the shipping. You know, and yeah. I got talked into, and now I realize that they were right of doing a digital tier because I had a couple. You know, the digital tier did pretty well in Europe.
Yeah,
but
oh yeah, them cats in Iceland don't like to pay for that shipping. You know what I mean? So. Canada's the worst.
Guys, you got to do something levels, about that Canada. It cost me the same amount of money. I'm in here in New York to ship something to Canada. It cost me the same amount of money to ship something to New Zealand. That's not right.
I know.
That's not right. So I don't know. My wife is from Canada. You know, I like going to Canada. You guys got to fix things. You guys got to fix. Yeah, but $10 plus shipping, and I made the shipping way back. When did I start build my campaign? What's before July? June. So back in June, I picked the shipping date, and everything went up since then.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I you know, what do you want me to do? It's just one of those things. So yeah, so long story short, I'm amazed. $10 plus shipping. That's a great deal. And then $20, 2 covers. Oh, let's talk about this cover.
Yep.
I want to talk. Is there a close up of this cover down here?
Yeah, it should be down there.
Yeah, look at that cover.
Right there.
That is cool. That's I could just picture that on a comic book, like going in on a Wednesday to my comic book store and seeing that cover. That would catch my eye. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially when you know Dan Kemp from Spawn colored it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Sorry, didn't want to curse.
Desper Rodrigo. Lyrico and Albuquerque. So Desperate, we know this guy. That's you. You're the writer.
That's me. Yeah.
And you came up with this concept. This is your baby.
This cover.
No, the whole.
Oh, all of it. Oh yeah, all it's me.
So when did you come up with the mythicals?
Oh shit. The bare bones of it probably like 2004. When I was out on patrol in the Army, we're overseas, and it's like, it'd be cool if it's like a team of monsters to go in here and kick the shit out of some terrorists, and then started reworking things. Like obviously you couldn't just keep going with a comic book as a military, overseas unit. So I decided to make like international. And, I was like, oh, what about like a Black Ops unit? And then and kept going on. And then I was with the dude over there, and he started doing some concepts. Like he started drawing some stuff, character designs, and we got about a 5-page preview together. And he said,
a guy you were in the military with?
Yeah. And he got some Bristol boards sent over there, and he's like, all right, we're going to do this, and we're going to take 5 pages when we get back to CrossGen down in Tampa. And when we got back, they were out of business. They had just gone under. And I'm kind of glad, because I heard Mark Wade's a douchebag. So I didn't really want to.
CrossGen came out when I was at like the poorest I've in my whole life. That I missed everything by that company, and I've been going back and buying old back issue. Excellent. Everything that came out of CrossGen so far has been excellent.
Yeah.
I bought a full run of Roos, and now I can't read it because it was written by Mark Wade.
Yeah.
But
like Sojourn and stuff like that, and
all the Chuck Dixon Way of the Rat.
Like Way of the Rat, yeah. I was gonna say Way of the Rat, yeah, I like that.
Bracey.
And so like I felt like this book, like as it was then, might not have, like it could have fit in there, but this is more like I would say like a Vertigo Image type deal back then. So, but everybody criticizes Image, like the art was fire and there were so many delays, but the stories weren't there, So this is possible to marry that kind of art style and the dynamic, the dynamicism is not even a word, of the 90s, and then pair it with great storytelling.
Yeah. I'm one of the harshest critics of Image Comics. I think, what do they have, like 18, 19-year-old guys, except for Todd McFarlane, like making comics, and the stories weren't that good. But you can't deny that they made an impact, But
I was 10 years old when that happened, dude. Changed everything.
Yeah,
because I was just starting to be like, oh man, look at all these comics. Like, oh my god, Spider-Man. Todd was on Spider-Man. Was doing the Hulk. That's when I really started collecting comics. Like the Hulk was gray. So, it just changed the game, and I'm like, well, I didn't understand it. I was like, all these people are leaving. And then my older cousin was like, no, they're starting their own company, dude. Look at this. And it was like Spawn #1, like a preview of I think it was a preview of Spawn or something, like a picture of Spawn. I was like, oh, what is that? I want it. And then that's just what it, and then some people were like, oh, that's the problem. They just looked at it. And I was like, yeah, but
that's what you do with comics. You just look at
them. It is a visual medium. Without it, you have a short story.
Me too. I mean, good art will get me to buy the comic, but good writing will get me to stay. You know what I mean? Like I kind of dropped off on.
If you want a platitude, like the art sells the book, but the story sets the hook. Like if you want me to, that's my Hojoism for the day.
Okay.
It's what you can fool me once, but you can't fool me twice.
Pretty much,
because they say Youngblood, I'm like, oh, Youngblood, the cover is so awesome. Remember, it changed everything. I was like, well, what was Youngblood 2 about? What's the cover look like? And then people are like, oh, I think once you have to start doing that, it's not that memorable.
Right. Yeah.
And issue 2 is normally like that, I would say, too.
Yeah. And it's funny because around like 1999, 2000, Image was like the best comic company. They came out with a bang. They sold millions, and then people just started, I think, just letting them go. And then I think they learned from their mistake.
Yeah, because I think
like it was a company, right?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I think they're back. They do a lot of creator-owned content now. I think the whole Skybound. It's like an imprint. But I liked, because there was just Image Comics, but there was just these studios. It was basically companies within a company.
Right.
And you knew that wasn't going to work because they didn't want to talk to each other. They were stealing each other's artists. Like, if you watch that documentary about Image, like, it was brutal, dude. So, like, it couldn't have held for I'm surprised it held as long as it did. I mean, but some of the stuff out of there were some gems. Like, I really did I liked Planetary. I liked The Authority. I really liked the adventures of Max Faraday. Divine Right, that's what it's called. Divine Right. I love Divine Right.
Divine Right was awesome. That's what turned me on to Jim Lee.
Yeah.
But Planetary is still one of my favorite comics of all time. I reread that over and over and over again. That is such a good comic.
I need to get it in like a trade or something.
Yeah, I bought the big oversized hardcover.
Yeah. I love it. I have that as 7 to Eternity. I like those. It's a good format.
When Alan Moore took over Wildcats, that was awesome. And somebody compared my comic to Alan Moore's Supreme. I was like, you just made my head explode.
Yeah.
He said your comic is like Alan Moore's Supreme minus the cynicism. I was like, that's exactly what I was going for.
I was gonna say you have to strip that away because he can't help, but it's part of what he does.
Yeah. I liken Alan Moore to like your hottest, craziest girlfriend. Like, you'll put up with this nonsense, but you put up with her nonsense because she's super hot. You know what I mean? Like, what's her name? Who just divorced Johnny Depp? I can't even think of her name.
Amber Turd.
Yeah, Amber Heard. It's like, yeah, she could cut my finger off. Look at her. You know what I mean?
They should have put her in the Joker sequel and have her be Shatwoman.
There you go. She could cut my finger off, but like, what's her name? I can't even think of her name, but
Amber Heard's crazy, dude.
yeah. But Alan Moore, like he could say things, he could be cynical. But I still love his stories. I don't know. I still love him. You know, he's a crazy old man yelling at the customers out the window and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's Alan. I still love him.
I mean,
And,
I like his Swamp Thing. It's
his
immaculate.
Swamp Thing. Yeah, it's one of my favorite comics. I love his Swamp Thing. Have you ever read From Hell?
Come on, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like that comic actually scared me. It gave me nightmares.
I actually liked the movie too.
I liked the movie. The movie was completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. Like I saw the movie first, and then I said, "Wait a minute, this isn't Alan Moore stuff I didn't know about." And I'm glad I saw it that way because then I enjoyed the movie, and then I read the comics. Oh my god!
See, like I'm not a big I respect V for Vendetta, but like I don't. It's not my favorite. It's not my.
You know, it's funny. I never even mentioned that when I talk about Alan Moore.
Nah.
Yeah, but I Cinema Purgatorio I really like. It's like one of his lesser known comics. It's like a movie theater in hell where all of these like old Hollywood they die.
Oh yeah. I read that. Yep.
Yeah,
I forgot all about that.
Yeah. It's you know. And it's hard to find. Oh my god! You know, well, I got to get the floppies. You can get a collected one very
right.
Quick. Hey, other people like From Hell. The movie is amazing. Yeah, the movie was good.
Yeah, my wife dug it. She likes it.
Yeah, I went to see. I like Jack the Ripper. You know, I'm kind of fascinated with the whole Jack. I'm not a true science. I'm not a true crime guy, but something about Jack the Ripper I find fascinating. Like
me too. It might be in my book. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Yeah. From Hell, Alan Moore talked about like architect Nicholas Hawksmoor, and that was like a big rabbit hole for me that indirectly led to my comic. You know, how architecture. I hope people will pick up that architecture is going to be like a part of the comic and everything. But we were talking about your comic, but once we started talking, I brought down one thing I just want to ask: do you have a catch-up tier?
I do. You can get and you can choose your own, because this is one fun. My comic, it's set up where it's got drop-down menus. Like you're in the driver's seat, you can pick whatever cover you want, just with a simple drag and drop, click and boom. You can get the reprint of issue 1, which has got the Dan Dog cover on the front and the Peter Gilmore cover on the back.
Oh, cool!
And then you get to pick between Oliver Isabedra, John Dillard, or Dimitris Nastos. So he did that wraparound cover. And on this issue, you can choose between the Alan Moore fight scene or this. I brought Dimitris back. He did the cat one as well. So I used him twice.
And then Catch Up Heavy is pretty much everything, right?
Everything, and plus the sketch cover. Yep.
Cool. Choose your own adventure box. Tell me about this box. I didn't.
Oh, it's like a collector's box. You know, like a little. It's for the customer that wants to add a little bit extra.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Comes with a metal print from Adam Miller and a acrylic standee.
Adam Miller. Is this your card from that Iron Age Icons?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a PDF. Of course, you got to have a PDF.
Yeah.
PDF.
Just look at his free shipping, John. I mean, they're just paying you to help.
Yeah. It's funny because in the middle of my fulfillment, I got a couple of orders for PDFs, and I was like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean? Like I as much as I hated digital when I start, I'm like, oh man, it is the easiest to fulfill. Here you go. Here's the link, buddy. Thank you.
And I got add-ons. I got metal cards, trading cards. I got prints.
Did I skip that? Where were we?
Should be down there. Keep going. Go back down.
Okay. Yeah, I just love this cover. I really like this first one in issue 2 of her on the bench with the cat.
Yeah.
That I love that cover. Not that I dislike any of the other covers. You know, I love that cover.
It's like a child, man. It's hard to pick your favorite.
And tell me about this. This is your set of cards.
Yep. And so this is every card we've produced thus far. You get the metal card of the werewolf and the vampire. So I'm trying to do it with each campaign. I didn't do trading cards in this one because this is it's kind of like a bare bones. Boom, get issue 3. Then we'll get issue 4 and find some more stretch goals and all that stuff, and offer some people some bigger items. I just kind of wanted to see what the economy was going to do.
Yeah, you know I got a feeling you're like me. You want to do a lot more, but I at the same time, I'm like, keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know, I know I'm already looking like my campaign for issue 2 is gonna have like bloat. I have so much stuff I want to do, but I don't know if I should, you know. But I do like the idea of cards, you know. I got my cards right here.
Yeah, and I got the standee of the talking cat, our little smartass.
Yeah, that's what you should tell. People love cats.
Yeah, he's a funny guy or funny cat, I guess.
I'm looking at here. I'm looking at all these characters. Yeah, Chandra seems to be like. I wonder why she seems to be pretty popular. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the blue lady over here.
Yeah, she's I guess kind of like the rogue character, you know, the sex pot, the grifter type deal.
Yeah.
And you kind of feel sorry for her because after like 5,000-6,000 years, she doesn't really have a personality of her own. So each decade she changes. It's kind of like Cher, but like the ancient version of it. You know, every decade's different. She doesn't know who she is anymore.
It would. Yeah. South River Studios.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep, and 6 a.m. chibi sticker. 6 a.m. I've been seeing that for so long. And I didn't realize that was the artist's name. I was like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I thought it was. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a sticker company, and I was looking. I'm like, oh, it's a person. People love these chibi 6 a.m. stickers.
Oh yeah, that's certified stuff.
And here we got Chandra and the werewolf. I love that, man.
So that prints a stretch goal once we hit 5K.
Look at that. That is awesome. You're gonna tell me if you saw that in a comic book store, that wouldn't catch your eye, you know, and sell copies. That is awesome. I love that. That is so good. And then he classified. So this is a secret stretch goal.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we get there.
Work in progress. Look at this. You must hate women.
That's what I keep hearing. No, I love women. I love them so much that I married one.
It's funny because I was talking to I went to Comic-Con and I met up with a couple of people. I didn't go to the Comic-Con, but I met them up afterwards. We were in the bar and I was showing people my comic. And the patriarch's wife has scars. And this woman looks at, she goes, "Do you hate women?" I go, so at this point, I just went, "Yes, I do." You know, and she just like backed away from me.
Well, I mean, I remember when I first started doing this, like, you know, because I don't have like a gun-toting, like testosterone-fueled hitman, I guess, as the main character, which is fun. But I remember getting these messages from these randos, and you could tell that, you know, they watched The View or something. She's like, how can you live with yourself? How can you know what it's like to be a woman? Like, how do you know what it's like to be inside the head of, you know, in the head of a woman? I was like, well, I've been inside many women.
I've been in. That's a good answer.
And they don't usually message back. So
I haven't had that yet. You know, people. You know,
it was only in the beginning.
You know, my main character in issue 1 is the patriarch. He's a male. He's got a beard. You know, one of 7. Like, I didn't realize that I was. You know, you subconsciously put your life into a comic, but it's not a self-insert. My God, I wish I was a self-insert patriarch.
Right.
But it's more my dad, you know, than anybody else. You know, he's a father of 7 kids. You know, but issue number 2, I'm debuting a young PhD 3rd-generation immigrant Chinese woman. I just can't wait to people, and I'm gonna tell people flat out, yeah, that's my self-insert. You know, just be ridiculous as possible. You know, it's called fiction, guys. We're allowed to make up other characters. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Just like actors are allowed to not be evil Jedi masters or whatever. You know what I mean? They're allowed to pretend. As long as I had a writing professor, Mr. Torres, in college. And it's funny because we were talking about just this stuff, like, you know, what are you allowed to write? And this one girl's like, well, how do you know how to write women? And blah, 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 blah. And Mr. Torres goes, have you read my novels? He goes, I got 3 novels out. And everybody was quiet. I didn't know he had novels out. And he goes, what do you think I write about? You know, he goes, guess. Anybody? And everybody's being quiet, you know. He writes about Irish immigrants during the Civil War. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy from Mexico. He goes, that's what I want to write. He goes, but I do the research.
Yep.
He goes, and my wife, she's from England, which surprised me because, you know, expectation, but she writes about Aztec culture. You know what I mean? And he's like, Nobody cares. He goes, and she goes, you're writing. He goes, you want to write about whatever you want to write about. Nobody owns any topic. He goes, just do your research. So your main character is a woman. You know. So for your research, I know this. You dress up as a woman and you go hang out in bars. I know this.
Yeah. I'm more of a Capri guy, but no, I mean, it's the reason Nancy Moon is a woman is because that's what the story dictates. I'm sorry. This is all going somewhere. There's a reason why it's a woman. There's a reason why it's her. So we'll get there. We'll get there.
So did you? John Douglas goes, "What the hell did I just walk in?" You walked into me talking nonsense.
We're at the Blue Oyster Bar.
Yeah. So did you come up with the character first, or did you come up with the story first?
Kind of the character. I didn't have the name. It just one day hit me. I don't know, because I'm a horror fan. It's a horror book. Like Nightmare on Elm Street, like Nancy. I'm like, that's a good name. That's a strong name.
Nancy Moon is a great name.
It is a good name. Yeah,
it's a good name. That's the hardest part, is coming up with a cool name. You know.
Oh shit! Like I'm like, I don't want code names. Like, but I thought about it. I was like, there would be one. Like if you've read this book, Lucas, like, he wants to give everybody a code name, and they're just going to be like, we're not doing it.
Yeah, and once you come up with the, like, again, I always end up talking about Dungeons and Dragons, but like you roll up your character, you make up your wizard, whatever, and then the hardest part is you come up with the name for your character. Once you do that, everything clicks. Like your character's personality, how you're going to role play your character. If you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, how you're going to write the character. Like Nancy Moon, it really is a good name, especially for like a witchy character.
Yeah.
I got to address RRNTZ because I get like one super chat a month, and it's usually from him. John, I can't believe it. You finally got John Byrne. Oh wait, this Hojo guy seems pretty awesome. Yeah, he's been like, hopefully that I'll get John Byrne on the channel. I message John Byrne like every 3 months, and it's just like, I'm sure like it goes right into a spam filter, and he never.
Yeah, probably.
Prater likes the art. Eric Grant says hello.
Oh, thanks, Prater.
No, being an evil Jedi Master is non-negotiable requirement for all roles. Yeah, I'm going to be a farmer in a period piece, and I'm going to eat. How dare you create something that doesn't perpetuate Marxist dogma? There you go.
I know.
Well, you know what? It's funny, but making anti-woke stuff now is too late. The boat sailed.
There's no reason. It's just a story, bro.
Like that's to me, it's like making a comic book making fun of woke stuff right now is like making a comic book making fun of disco. It's too late. It's over. The ship has sailed. You should have done it a while ago. But there you go.
Timing is everything.
Yep, timing is everything. Maybe 4 years ago, if you came out with an anti-woke something, it would have been topical. But now
I don't even like that term anymore. Like I don't like the term woke, and like the political discourse in the country, and like I hear it, and like people will be listening to news or something at work. I'm tired of hearing the word mandate.
Oh, it's funny that you said that. I hate these words that I hate. I hate mandate.
All right. Full disclosure, I know what the media does. Like I know, like when they call the 3 a.m. talking points, that's what they are.
Right.
I know what they phrasing and buzzword. What they call a buzzword. Why do you think they're called a buzzword? It's because they're generated.
And all of a sudden, everybody started using the word sustainable at the same time.
Yeah. Or without evidence, no evidence, without evidence. You know what I mean? These phrases, and these people can barely tie their own shoes. Like I know you're reading from a script. So like
I remember,
I'm tired of hearing it.
I'm sure there's a word for this term, but I remember when I was a kid, I was working in a comic book store, and they were gonna I forget who it was. They were gonna appoint Burke as a Supreme Court justice. And literally the next day, everybody came into the comic book store telling me how Burke was like an evil man and he was going to destroy the country and send it back. And I just remember going, I didn't know this guy existed 18 hours ago, and now I'm supposed to hate him. Yeah. And people got mad at me for saying that. And I was like a 17-year-old kid at the time.
Wasn't that the guy like he smoked weed or something? Like, didn't that disqualify him? I think it had something. It was something stupid to describe.
I don't even remember. But I was just like, I'm supposed to hate this guy. Literally, I didn't know who he was 18 hours ago. I went to bed last night and I didn't know who this guy is. I wake up today. I'm supposed to hate this guy. You know, and people were like, oh my, like long-term customers. Like, it was the first time I noticed politics getting in the way of friendships. I'm like, I'm a 17-year-old kid. I want to read comic books. I want to hit on that girl, and I want to drink beer. And now I got to argue politics with you, and I'm supposed to hate people because the TV told me to. But
nah, bro.
Does anybody know the term that I'm looking for? Since I crashed my car, I can't remember words. But anyway, we're going off on a political tirade here. So, do you have a magical system like in your mind that you will reveal, or is this like you're winging it? Like, Doctor Strange, Stan Lee didn't create a magic system. He just said the wounds of Volpar or whatever. You know what I mean? But do you have a system that you're revealing slowly?
Oh, I mean, revealing slowly, yeah, but it's all locked down. Like, this issue specifically in regards to magic will explain a lot. Especially her little, what you would say, hiccups over the past 2 issues. Like almost like the mutant power when it manifests, you can't control it. You have to learn. Like this, it's already manifest. She's had her what they call her awakening. Now she's either gonna have to learn how to control the fire, or it's gonna burn out. And it's not a euphemism. That's not a figure of speech. It's everything. Like, you need to figure this out, or you're done. Like, because there's a reason there are no other natural witches around.
Okay.
They don't last very long.
You mentioned the Dresden Files. You're a fan of the Dresden Files?
Never read it, but it keeps getting compared to them.
Oh, okay. I love the Dresden Files. And that's a guy. The magic in his books might as well be mutants. You know what I mean? Like, they're born into it, and like they concentrate, and it's to me like a wizard, whatever. But like, and then in Harry Potter, it's like you have to have special blood to be a wizard, and then
kind of like that. There is certain breeding that's gone on, like to create more powerful magicians, so to speak.
Okay.
Like our resident musician Daniel, the one who's teaching her, his last name is a school. He's the typical rich kid, affluent, but he's a punk rocker. Like, he doesn't want anything to do with, like, he's English and he's British. English, he doesn't like any of that shit. Like, he shows up to like with an anarchy shirt and ripped jeans, and he doesn't care.
Okay, all right. So, like, could in your world, like, say I transported myself to decom, could I become a magic user, or you have to be born into it?
If you got it, I guess it would be like the Jedi. Like, you have to have that little bit. It can be adapted and grown and harnessed. But there's some going to be more talented than others. Sure. Okay.
I got to say that.
And then I guess there would be. I'm sorry. I guess there would be some that just can't do it. Like, I'm sure Lucas is one of those people who's like, yeah, I can't do this shit. This is fucking lame.
Yeah, I liked they had a Fantastic Four story. I think it was a Mark Waid story, actually, where Reed Richards was trying to learn magic so he could do something to Doctor Doom.
He can't wrap his head around it.
Yeah, it was too science-based. He couldn't.
Yeah.
I got to say, Zach Pan really got me with this because I didn't realize what he was doing. I was reading it while you were talking, but he's using all the buzzwords in the sentence.
Yeah.
To basically talk. Just be reality-based. Sometimes a polemic is needed for the most part, but the truth, excellence is no. I was like, what are you talking? Oh, okay, you got me. But yes, that you just that was like CNBC or whatever. Just like every person just talking. It sounds intelligent. But it means nothing. Didn't Lee create the Hoary Host of Hogwarts? What Lee did was he made up nonsense words that sounded cool, but believe it or not, now her name is
that guy had a talent for alliteration, man.
Right. He just he was making up all those monster names in the 50s and early 60s, and then Cat Ironwood. She was like a 16-year-old girl in the 60s. She was a super fan of Doctor Strange, and she took all of these words that Ditko and Lee just threw out there and coalesced them and made them and she made like a spell book for Doctor Strange,
Oh,
and
that's
then
cool.
mailed it to Marvel and DC. Marvel and DC. She mailed it to Marvel, and Roy Thomas used it. He was like, "Okay, this
It's
is
like a
what
source book. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So she coalesced the bench, and she was just a fangirl. You know what I mean? Later on, she became, I think, one of the most important editors in all of comics. That
Right.
You know, she was one of my first interviews. Believe it or not, I'm such a, and this is a woman who's a literal communist. You know what I mean? But we got along because we talk comics. You know.
And see, that's the thing.
Jim,
Like, you know, fans care. Oh, way to go, John.
Yeah,
Jim.
this is the first time this ever happened. I didn't even know you could do this on my channel. Thank you so much, Jim. Thank you. And I love that avatar. It looks like a mix between like a Warhammer Knight and Sauron. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim. I don't know how to react because this never happened before. Thank you.
Oh, there you go, Jim.
Yeah, Jim.
He's a guitar player.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I got to get like little cool clips to play.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I get a super chat, I always want to. You remember Better Off Dead with the kid on the bicycle?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's an Optimus Prime statue. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. I see.
I see it now. Okay, I see it now. Cool. Everything's Tolkien to me. Are you a Tolkien fan? Let's.
Yeah, I like Lord of the Rings. No,
but you didn't read the books.
Yeah, I've read the books. Yeah.
Okay. There's a big thing on Twitter right now that I had. It's the kind of argument that I like, you know. But like, are you a fan if you don't like all the nerdy and little details of something? Like I'm into Lord of the Rings, so I want to know the genealogy of Bilbo and Frodo and their parents. I want to know what the Maya are. I want to know who the wizards are.
Yeah.
You know, I love all that stuff. Now, what do you think? I don't want
to a certain extent, maybe. Like with me, it was like in the movie, like how he made the was it the Uruk-hai or whatever. I wanted to see like, well, what led to that? How did he make that thing that they found in the dirt? Like I wanted, like I'm big on origins, I guess you would say, you know, something like that. But I don't need a whole family tree. I just want to know how we got here. Like that's when I was a kid. All I want, and I'm not a Star Wars fan at all, really. All I wanted to see was once I found out that Darth Vader was Luke's dad. How did that happen?
Well, when a Sith Lord loves a lady, he ignites his lightsaber.
Yeah, like I wanted to see that. That's all I cared about. But
man, I talk about Star Wars. Star Wars came out when I was in third grade. You know, talk about like we were the younglings. Like me and my friends, we were like sitting in a circle and like talking philosophy. Like the Force means this and that. You know. For years, guys, it was so much fun waiting this couple of years, and then The Empire Strikes Back came out and completely obliterated anything that we thought about.
I know. I can only imagine what that was like. And then 3 years after that, you're like, really, dude? Teddy bears?
But I remember like the big thing for after Empire Strikes Back was Yoda goes, there is another. And I was convinced that the other was Lando Calrissian. I was like, it's
really?
And then my friend's like, no, it's Leia. It's Leia. And then I'm like, no, it's him.
No, he kissed him. He's not going to make out with his sister.
You know what I mean? But he wasn't his sister at the time. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing. You know, I'll go back and like I can analyze it all. I'll put my analyst cap on. When in Return of the Jedi, because I just watched Return of the Jedi because that's the only one I'll show my kids. They're 6 and 3.
Oh, really?
I don't need this because the first one is boring to a child. Kind of boring to an adult for me. The second one is too dark. Like that's too much. Like seeing him get his hand cut off, and I'm like, he just said he was his dad. He looked at me. He's like, "It's his dad." I'm like, "Yeah, oh yeah." But she said when he told her, "Well, it's you, Leia," and she's like, "Somehow I know. I've always known." Like, so you knew when you were sucking his face?
Yeah.
You're about to jump across that? You don't remember that little tidbit back then? Come on.
Yeah, I firmly believe that when George Lucas wrote Star Wars, he had no intentions of a sequel. And then they're like, give us another one. And then he whipped out another one. Yeah. And then give us another one. He whipped out, you know, because there's so many inconsistencies in the story, you know.
That's why you got to write it like this. This is pretty much going to be written. I'm not writing as I go along. It's all plotted out. Like, yeah, I'm going to write each individual issue, but there's a quote unquote series Bible. This is all locked down. It's pretty much done. We're just waiting to get there. Like, I'm already telling you where we're going. I'm just gonna wait until you see the shit we see to get there.
So how many issues do you have planned out?
13.
I'm sorry?
13.
You have perfect number
13.
for anything.
Yeah, no.
Is 13 going to be your last issue or the last issue? No.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, really? 13 and you're done?
13 is it on this, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And let me address Logic's to a 6-year-old who might not have heard
Logic
that.
always has great questions. Really, you find The Empire Strikes Back too dark? Yeah,
for a 6-year-old.
For a 6-year-old. It's funny that you said that because when I was with my dad, my sister, my little brother, my little sister, we were all in the movie theater, popcorn, and I'll never forget when that ice creature comes out and hits Luke.
Oh yeah,
this kid Andrew Randazzo, he lived across the street from me. I didn't know he was in the movie theater, but he ran screaming down the aisle.
Yeah, dude, that used to scare me when I was a kid.
And when that thing jumped and got on the window. Everybody screamed, including my dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I liked about Star Wars, and this is getting back to what you were saying about PG-13 and everything. But Star Wars, you find it boring. To me, the first Star Wars movie is the best one. I guess it's because the feelings that evoked when I was in 3rd grade or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I love that movie so much. It wasn't pandering to kids.
Yeah, everybody I guess that's the beginning of the journey, and it's like that with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I kind of prefer the first one because that sets the tone. That's the beginning of the journey because these people are going to change so much.
Well, there's only 3 Star Wars movies, so nothing else matters.
Yeah.
That's the way
I must have been an acid flashback in 1999 then.
Yeah, I don't even like the.
That was my the sequels or whatever. What was it? Phantom Menace that came out my senior year of high school, so a lot of us skipped school to go that day. And I'm a Trek fan, and they were halfway through it. Some of my friends, I could tell they were not digging it. They were not liking it. He was like, "What the hell?" He was like, "Man, I'm stoned, and this Jamaican alien's getting on my damn nerves. What the hell is this shit?" And I'm like, talking all that shit.
Oh, so you're a Star Trek fan?
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah.
The original series, Next Generation. What's yours?
I stopped after I didn't even finish Enterprise the last season. Everybody was like, "Oh, the last season was so good." Yeah, but they fucked this season 3 up so much I didn't want to watch it anymore.
I'm an original series Star Trek.
I love the original series. Don't get me wrong. It comes on every night. That's the best way. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's the best way to get my wife to leave the room. I just cut Star Trek on.
I love Star, and I remember when Next Generation came on, I was irrationally angry. I was like, how dare they? Because the original Star Trek series was such I had this goldenrod shirt.
Oh yeah, I know.
I would take duct tape and I would make little Captain Kirk rank, and I would make it, and I would just walk around pretended I was Captain Kirk. I wasn't even playing with anybody, but in my head, I was Star Trek. I was exploring strange new world. I love Star Trek so much to the point where Captain Kirk is one of my top 5 favorite fictional characters of all time.
Oh, he is one of the people who have shaped my personality, how I look at the world.
I will
Star Trek was in Twilight Zone, and how I approach storytelling. Star Trek, the Twilight Zone, little David Lynch. I'm crazy.
Yeah, I like David Lynch too. You're not crazy.
No, I mean the way the stuff I'll put into my writing, because sometimes he's just you know what, screw it. Who's going to tell you no? Nobody's when you're writing these stories, nobody's gonna chop your hand off like Jamie Lannister. Write what you want. Well, the editor can tell you no.
Even a guy like Tolkien, who had everything meticulously mapped out, invented 5 languages, he still threw in little curveballs. Nobody knows where Ungoliant or Tom Bombadil came from. You know what I mean? Even he's just I don't know.
I was kind of mad that Tom Bombadil was left out of the the original Lord of the Rings.
There's 2 types of Tolkien fans: people who love Tom Bombadil and people who hate Tom Bombadil. I love him. I love Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
his jacket's blue and his boots are yellow. What else? What's not to like about him?
Right.
But Star Trek, I learned to like Next Generation, and I just can't get through Deep Space Nine. I know everybody, it's the greatest thing in the world, but
I don't need to waste my.
It is a chore. What Logic says, when I was 8, Empire Strikes came out. It was great. I can't see. Yeah, everybody's different. Yeah, everybody's different. Star Wars was rated R. If Star Wars was rated, I read this long. If Star Wars was rated R all along, what would have been different? Maybe more blood and action. Yeah, Star Wars was the original movie. I thought was just like art through adversary. George Lucas had to fight what he wanted, and other people fought against him, and they compromised, and it became a better product. Whereas the sequels, it was whatever George wanted, he got with no, that is the result of no criticism.
The first Star Wars was it's a beautiful disaster.
Right. It's almost it could have been bad, but what was his name? Gary Martin.
I liked it the first time. It was called John Carter or Princess of Mars.
Well,
that's my gripe with it, because I went and read those books. I'm like, you know what? He just ripped off Princess of Mars.
Right. Well, George Lucas wore it on.
He'll tell you that it was the Lensman, it was Flash Gordon, it was Buck Rogers, it was John Carter, and it was even Jack Kirby. He even said like the Dark Side was inspiration for Darth Vader. I mean, like, yeah. I still love. I mean, we all pull from things we know. There are no original ideas anymore. Like, why do you think we all describe our books as a pastiche of something else when we have to give a 5-second pitch? Which I hate saying. Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets X-Files a little bit. No, I hate saying that, but you have to simple brain some of these people. Be like, it's like being a musician. Play what people know, and then you can start playing your solo stuff. Then you can throw in an original tune from time to time. But you have to show people something they know, and then show them that, hey, that you think you know this, but here's something different.
Yep, Star Wars with 7 Samurais in space. You could even see some shots match up.
Yeah, I'll buy that actually. Yeah.
And
I'm not ripping on George Lucas. I'm not. He makes a lot more money than I do.
Well,
his ideas are better.
I feel bad because we bullied George Lucas into selling Disney. It's our fault. The reaction,
and I've laughed at you the entire time. To be honest, what I mean? Like there are very few times that Star Wars fans have gotten sympathy for me, because we've been that little brother. Like we were here first, but then the upstart came through, and like just that star burned so bright, and we're just like, you know what? We were the original peanut butter. We're Jiffy. Damn it, we're Skippy. We're not Jiffy. We're not Jif. We're not that shit. Why not us? So, we're more intellectual. You guys are more. Star Wars is more bang bang bang, pew pew pew, whatever. But the J.J. Abrams thing, when that came along, when Disney bought Marvel, I was against it. When Disney bought Star Wars, I laughed, but I was still against it. I'm like, all right, because they were so happy, like, dude, it's on now. Look at all this money. We're going to be able to tell the greatest stories. I'm like, you do know who J.J. Abrams is, right? You just laughed at us 2 years ago when he fucked up our movies.
If I see J.J. Abrams, he got me on Lost. I was watched that show for 6 seasons.
It lost me after season 2. I started watching season 3. Done. Fringe the same way. You started great. He gave me 3 seasons before I said fuck it, which is more than I've given him. I never watched Alias because I like chicks, but I don't want to watch a show like that. Which I write a book
like Supernatural. If you ask me, had the first 5 seasons was full.
Stopped after that. Done.
I recommend that. The rest of it is just spinning wheels. It's just spinning wheels.
It's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer after 5 seasons. They didn't need to bring it back.
Yeah,
but they sold it to Paramount. They're like, we want to bring it back. Here's a lot of money.
Again, I got to commend you. Then you're ending on issue 13.
Yeah, there's no reason to go any further.
So let's bring up your campaign again. Because I got to get going and eat something because I have 8:30.
Yeah, man. Yeah, me too. I got to go finish cleaning the house.
But I really. I'm looking at this, because it's funny because here we are. I said, like, it's comic books, and man, people sitting around having coffee. But here's people sitting having coffee. But
they're mimosas, by the way.
Oh, mimosas. Well, you see, but I first off, it's just one page, but I really like this art. Again, this is just hitting me right in the sweet spot. Like I said, this is not quite 80s Marvel, but it's like 90s Marvel, right before the Image came and changed everything. I really like this. This is a really well done page. I'm digging this. You know who this is reminding me of now? Bill Willingham's Elementals.
Oh yeah. Oh God, I love Bill
Oh, isn't
Williams.
that good? I know RRNT just his face just exploded when I mentioned that. That's his like favorite comic of all time. But yeah,
I'm going back and reading. I got a bunch of the collections fables from Ollie's.
yeah. I just wish Bill Williams would draw comics again. Like I loved his Shadow Pact. I'm just a big fan. You know, yeah. I just dig this. You know, like you said, this is like the X-Men. You know how the X-Men would defeat Magneto, and then the next issue they're playing volleyball, and then and then the next issue is he's going into a onslaught or whatever. You know, so you said this is the day in the life setup character development issue.
We get a case, a dead body. You know, because this is a classic police procedural too. Like, I should read the first 5 pages. Like, page 1 is like, holy shit, we got a dead body, and then after page 1, it's how we got to page 1.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then we pick up halfway through in real time and then finish the rest of the story. So it's a really I'm proud of this issue. I like this
Oscar. Oscar, by the way, is one of the colorists on my comic, and he's going to be one of the artists on an upcoming project. I love Oscar, super talented. He says Supernatural is good until the angels come. Yeah, once they started fighting angels to the demons, it kind of threw the show. Well, Eric Kripke left, and now he's doing The Boys, which I wouldn't touch that show with a 10-foot pole.
Buffy, I heard he kind of lost his mind, huh?
I don't want to watch superheroes shooting regular people with laser vision and stuff like that. You know, I love superheroes. Chuck Dixon just said it today on his Ask Chuck Dixon. He's like, Superman is supposed to be an ideal. And he goes, and ultimately, it's a children's character on lunchboxes. You don't want to see him as a murderer. If Superman can't figure out how to solve the problem without killing somebody, then he doesn't deserve to be Superman. And that's the way I feel. You know, I don't want to watch The Boys.
As much as I hate Zack Snyder, as much as I hate Zack Snyder, like he did have a few poignant lines, and I don't know if he wrote them in his Justice League and Superman, all that when Bruce was sitting around and he was talking about because Clark's gone, he was like, he was more human than all of us.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch any because after Man of Steel, I don't. I was like,
yeah, I get it, but like he said he's more human than all of us. Superman represents the best of us.
Right.
The best of us don't kill people with heat vision or break people's necks when we get too angry.
Right.
And don't say, well, it was this, you know, that's humanity. No, it isn't.
No, that's like saying
that is the absence of humanity is taking another life in malice.
I could punch people on the subway who take the seat that I want. I don't do it, you know, but I have the ability to do it. You know, I'm not saying I have the ability to win, but you know what I mean? That's what Superman is. He has the ability to use heat vision on whatever, but
I liked it with the Justice League cartoon when him and Darkseid went at it, and he was like, "Finally, I can let loose because I'm always."
That was a good, yeah.
He said, "But you can take it, can't you?"
That was a good episode.
Whipped his ass.
That Batman the animated series to me is like the best Batman, and that Justice League is so. Even though you know it's different from the comics, but they did it.
Yeah.
They did it so well. Emily Kruger's here. All right, we got the whole team.
It's a party now.
It's a party now. So I see you drinking a beer.
I didn't make this one.
The post office came and picked up my last bit of boxes, and then
I saw that on Twitter.
And then accidentally returned them back to me.
Yeah.
So they're going back out. So Saturday, I'm sending these last 17 boxes out.
Oh, when I saw the message, I thought you had 17 mailers that you sent out and got returned. Like I thought they had already been mailed and like
no, not yet. I'm waiting. I got one back.
Oh my god!
I got Marcus Kelligrew sent back to me because I don't know why. Somebody in their post office messed up, and I had to send it back. But only one returned so far. I mean, stuff's going to Scotland. It's not getting returned, but they picked it up. What? This is what I think happened. They picked up these boxes, put it in the postal truck, and then that guy probably clocked out. And then the next day, another guy got it up. Oh, what's this? And then dropped them back off. You know what I mean?
Right.
They admitted they made a mistake, so I got to go Saturday drop because I'm not having them pick them up again. I want to drop them, scan them, whatever. But 2 weeks after those, I want to do a stream. Everybody gets your pint glasses. We're gonna toast the patriarchy, and everybody will drink from the. We'll have some beers in your patriarch glasses. That's why I love the Viltrumet from a better Kryptonian, but are evil from the start. I don't know if they're better. They're different, but it's. I don't mind Invincible, because at least Invincible himself is a good guy trying to do the right thing. There's somebody to root for. There's nobody to root for in the boys. Even he does horrible things because he lets people, at least in the comic, he lets the people bully him into doing horrible things. You know, but I don't need that. I'm too old to watch laser vision into civilians, and and it's funny, people like, oh, I thought you would love it. I'm like, well, then you don't really know me. Yeah, Invincible is better than the boys. Yeah. Again, it's violent, it's bloody, but there's good guys that you could root for. So
I missed Invincible. I mean, it was out for a while before I even because I was kind of away from comics. I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah,
and he ended when the story was over. Robert Kirkman does that. Man.
You have to know when to cut the cord.
Right. So 13 issues. How long have you been doing this? This is your third campaign. How long you've been going?
I launched the first book at the end of February of 2023.
Okay. Oh, so you're doing pretty good.
Just under 2 years. Yeah.
Pretty good. Are you trying to pick up the pace, or this is how you want to go?
I mean, I would like to, but it's just right now it's a good pace for my team.
Yeah,
they have day jobs too. They're not just sitting around waiting to draw. They have kids, they have families, they have businesses to support. Sometimes try to give myself a buffer. I would like to get it to where I'm doing a campaign every 7 to 8 months. Yeah,
that's good. I would like to. Renzo's is he's working for 2 other guys, so I
know one of them is my editor. Huh.
Oh, Aaron?
Aaron's my editor.
Yeah, that's good. Aaron's a good guy, man, and his comic, Deal Before Doomface, is doing really well, guys. Check it out.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I know it's gonna be written well. Aaron's a great writer, but I love Renzo's art. I love Renzo, and Oscar's the colorist.
Yeah, I like
Oscar
Renzo
in the chat. So check out Kneel Before Doomface. Good. It's going to be a good comic. It can't not be. But so I think I'm going to do like a side cut. You know what I mean? And that's Oscar's going to be drawing one of my side cuts. Viltrumite. Well, now we're talking about Viltrumites. Viltrumites have all the strength. Some of the weaknesses. Live for 5,000 years. Better Kryptonian. Yeah, there's no Deus Ex Machina mineral that kills a Viltrumite. Although the word Viltrumite is a horrible word, but Kryptonian's pretty bad too. But we're just used to it, Argonians. So anything you want to say? Because I gotta go. I got 15 minutes.
Yeah, man. I gotta do.
I know you have a hard exit too. You were telling me.
Yeah. I mean, you won't regret this book. I mean, I fulfill. I even gave you 2 extra pages of story and dropped the price this time. It's a proven track record at this point. It's a story that's really going somewhere. Like these are characters you can care about, and that's what I keep hearing. Like the dialogue and the characters, like it even though it's a fantasy setting, it feels real.
Yeah,
these people feel real. And
the best endorsement I could give is I backed this. I couldn't wait to back it. I got 1, 2, and 3, or I backed 3. I didn't get it yet, and you deliver on time. Your comics are professionally made. You got more going on than most people in our scene, and I don't mean that as a dig. I mean that as a positive thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing this. I love making books. I love telling stories. I'm a fan too. I like reading books. I like to make something that I would have wanted to read. Like that's what it's all about, entertainment. This is a fun little read. It's not too serious. I'm not making a statement other than have fun.
Yeah. It's
relax.
Comic book escapism. No politics.
Value. There's value in this. Like I'm exchanging. You're giving me a little bit of money, and I'm going to take away some time, but replace that with something that's way more valuable. Yeah, it's a good, decent, fun comic. If you like comics, fun comics. I dig it. That's all I can say. But I guess we're going to shut down now. Thanks a lot, everybody in the chat. At 8:30 here, I'm going to have RJ from the Fourth Age and then Tonic Bowl from Saving the World, and we're going to do comic book team up. You never know what you're going to expect with Tonic Bowl. You just say hello to him, and he's off in his own dimension. So this will be funny. All right. Thanks a lot, Hojo. Good luck with this, man. I can't wait to get my issue. Bye-bye. All right. See ya.